Camera rolling.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No red light.
It says recording and it's blinking.
Oh, maybe
You don't see it?
Oh yes, there it is. It's
Okay.
way under there.
Camera set. In action.
Good morning, Dr. Enrico Melson.
Morning again.
Warm welcome on behalf of your audience here at YouTube. It's wonderful to see you again. Once more, we're going to be delighted by the education you'll provide us today. The 7 pillars of integral education, meta systems. Today, you will be giving us education for the 6th pillar, education for enlightenment. Thank you.
Thank you. In many ways, this may be the most controversial of the 7 pillars, particularly when viewed from a traditional Western perspective. Particularly when we are looking at something called science, and science is a way of assuming a primacy of perspective on what is real and what is not real. When we speak and use this term enlightenment, therefore we are often finding ourselves raising the eyebrows of those who would consider that the only thing that is real is that which we can measure and touch and feel and perceive through our human senses. Therefore, to talk about education for something called enlightenment, for most, would be presupposed as enlightenment of what? For what reason? Oh, this must be some kind of Eastern spirituality business that you really are talking about. Oh, you really are talking about unveiling things which are perhaps not intended for the general knowledge base of the population. Enlighten me. Let's speak of enlightenment in a larger sense. Let's speak of it in terms of becoming aware. We are beings of awareness. It is our nature to be aware. We have evolved to come into this world with an awareness capacity which is so vast, and yet without the physical means to express that vast awareness. This is how we are when we are born. We are born enlightened, because indeed, just a few moments before, we were in the spirit realm, and we have come into bodily form, and we have this awareness from whence we came and of our primal nature. And so we then undertake this process called the maturation and development of our nervous system especially. And what we find is that so much of the development of that nervous system is that which is inhibitory to this vast awareness. When we look at that which we call the social cultural developmental system that we have, we find indeed also so much of that is inhibitorily oriented. In other words, we learn to say no. We learn that things are not possible. We learn that we must conform. We learn the rules, what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is not good. And so what we find is that in a typical society of Western culture, an individual by the age of 18 will have already heard the word no directly applied to her or himself at least 500,000 times in the course of their life, and no means not possible. So Education for Enlightenment actually is giving us an orientation towards that which is the infinitude of possibilities, that which is possible, and indeed that more which is possible, and indeed that more which is possible. How to conceive of possibilities. We must teach that we are of a field of infinite possibilities. When we teach genius, when we teach global citizenship, when we teach development, when we teach empowerment, when we teach whole person being, these 5 antecedent and progressive pillars, that by the time we are teaching enlightenment, that indeed this is not a foreign concept, that indeed this is not an alien process, something to be rejected by the students, something to be feared, something to be even perhaps abhorred by the families of such students. In fact, something to be welcomed throughout the system, because we all are here to awaken. We are all here to understand more our relationship to ourselves, our relationship to our families, our relationship to our society, a relationship to nature herself, to the ecosystem, to the planet's nature, sentience, awareness. How can we have more responsibility? How can we, in fact, implement and actuate positively upon any sense of responsibility if we do not first have a basis of awareness? And thus the continual expansion of awareness is the process of enlightenment itself. So we would teach that, and yes, we will incorporate many of the spiritual, cultural, even religious traditions from around the world, so as to develop a wide base of perspective and approaches to the process of enlightenment. It is not to limit it to some particular Eastern traditions and their paths. Indeed, again, it is to be holistic. Indeed, it is to be integral. So this process of awakening and expansion of consciousness, as pillar number 6, serves a great, great purpose, because it is through the seeking, it is through that intent of becoming more and more awake, more and more aware, that we come, in fact, to more and more responsibility, more and more desirability of helping one another, more and more creativity in fostering and bringing forth positive solutions to the imbalance and the disharmonies in our ecosystem. That indeed, in fact, through such enlightenment, through such awakening processes, we are able to experience the genius of all our beings collectively in what we call the generation of morphogenic fields of intelligence and consciousness. This enlightening process becomes something which then radically accelerates the spread of awareness, oneness, unity, love, and harmony throughout the planet. And when we truly understand the depths of morphogenic fields as dynamics and as real processes and real existence, then we will also understand that what we are doing in teaching collectively, the processes of enlightenment, are actually having impact upon Earth, Mother Gaia, Mother Terra, and her position within the solar system and beyond into the cosmos overall. Because these fields of awareness, these waves of intelligence and vibrations and intent, as they propagate to the cosmos itself, and also propagate internally to the quantum matrix itself. We thus have a means of bringing about what we call the completion in the circle of life and the circle of existence and experience, the completion in the circles of knowledge. What we also have is a way to realize the continuous unfolding of the infinite variety that is the nature of our universe, that is the nature of our personal life. We have a way to recognize that we have transcended the boredom of complacent living, the laziness of contracted consciousness, and that our education system is indeed of such high value that we can cherish it because it is truly an engine and a catalyst for global development and for harmonization. And that is what anyone, I believe, would give credence to, at least as part of the cosmic plan of the great creative spirit, intelligence that has brought us all into existence. So that's the sixth pillar, the pillar of education for enlightenment. I hope this one is useful as well. We will elaborate much more later on. Thank you for now.
Dr. Enrico Melson, thank you once more again on behalf of your audience here on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you.